I wanted to make a follow-up video about bullying, about cyberbullying, but this article right here talks more about rape culture and feminism, and that's just not something that I wanted to get into.
Hey, here are 5 stupid things I've noticed about rape culture. Define it as literally as possible. Rape culture? You mean a culture that approves of rape? But in our culture, rapists are ostracized and held criminally responsible for their actions. We obviously can't have a rape culture. The suggestion that rape should be dealt with by encouraging women to dress more conservatively doesn't deserve to be taken any more seriously than the suggestion that a rash of break-ins be dealt with by encouraging everybody to lock their doors at night. But there's another side to this, and it has to do not with victim blaming, but victim play, because the only reason for wanting to educate men about issues like consent or objectification of women is because women secretly believe that any given man is only 2 or 3 decisions away from becoming a rapist. But even if you can't see it, you still don't have a very good excuse for ignoring it. It really is a shame that you were raped, but big picture, it's just not that important. Run along now. Oh, would it kill you to smile more often? You're so much prettier when you smile. The hardest part is only picking 5. Catch you next time.
There was an arrest on cyberbullying, and cyberbullying is bullying, and bullying is wrong. What I don't like in this article is how it talked about defining cyberbullying. And the definition has 3 parts. First, taken as a whole, it predominantly appeals to the prurient interest. Prurient is a word that means lustful actions or thoughts. Really? That is cyberbullying? What if you're talking about somebody that you like, but you're not saying names, and you're not using defining characteristics of that person that everyone else would know who you're talking about? Or maybe you are, and that person is your significant other, or husband, wife, etc. I'm just saying. B, it depicts or describes in patient, offensive ways a prohibited sexual act. There's a lot of prohibited sexual acts out there. So why is cyberbullying only about sexuality so far? I do not know, but that's what it's come to be in this. And C, taken as a whole, it lacks serious literacy, artistic, educational, political, or scientific value. So that means that if it's not educational in any way, shape, or form, then it's cyberbullying? Are you kidding me? What happened to freedom of speech with that? I'm not condoning cyberbullying. I think it's a terrible thing. But in my personal definition of cyberbullying, cyberbullying should be determined based on the same rules and things that guide our day-to-day lives when we have face-to-face time. If you say something hurtful, if you use derogatory or otherwise offensive gestures or intonation in the voice, or anything that the meaning is apparent of something unsavory, that to me is cyberbullying. And that can be done on any of the websites that you know are social media websites or any kind of sharing type of website. Hartford Courant writer Jesse Leavenworth spent more time analyzing data than he did actually feeling about the article about cyberbullying and the boy who was later arrested, which I'll show you that article. But School Tackles Cyberbullying is about the student who created a terrible list called Thought List, where THOT stands for that hoe over there. So you saw in the previous little snippet that we're talking mainly about things against girls. Well, we're still talking about things against girls, but we have to let them know it's not okay. And this is very hurtful. But I do think that this article could have been better written instead of having all these statistics of 88% of teens say they have seen mean behavior towards someone online. 15% of teens say they've been the target of this behavior. 21% of teens using social media say they've joined in harassment of another teen. Let me just remind you of something. Check this out.
Girl is the nastiest skank bitch I've ever met. Do not trust her. She is a ugly slut. I found it in the girls' bathroom. It's so mean, Mr. DeGaulle. I think they're all pretty pleased with themselves. Okay, everybody close your eyes. I want you to raise your hand if you have ever had a girl say something bad about you behind your back. Open your eyes. Now, close your eyes again. And this time, I want you to raise your hand if you have ever said anything about a friend behind her back. Open. There's been some girl-on-girl crime here. Okay, so what we can do today is a couple exercises to help you express your anger in a healthy way.
Probably the best article about cyberbullying talks about young Ryan Halligan, who died at age 13 last year when he committed suicide due to cyberbullying. And this article talks about his father's trip to different schools, talking about what we can do to protect our kids. He said he should have done better as a parent, not allowed the computer in the room, limited the amount of time on the computer, and monitored the computer usage. But that's all what a parent can do. What can the child do? Be aware of what you're posting. Know that geotagging, where people can look up where you live based on where the photo has come from, is very important. I actually saw that on the MTV show Catfish, and it's in this article. And I love how Mr. Halligan said, and I quote, "I want every young person in this room that is a bystander to make a commitment that from this point on, you're not going to just stand by and laugh." And it's very important. If you stand by and laugh, you're allowing it. And you need to stand up and fight for what's right. Plainville schools knew that they were going to work on academic achievement by working on school climate and that kind of curriculum. And that's really important when it comes to cyberbullying. The article, Students Work to Combat Bullying, Program Trains Kids to Stand Up, talks about how an anti-defamation league turned kids into more than just bystanders on the net. One of the teachers says, and I quote, "Our kids communicate using social media, and the current medium allows for more communication to happen." It's a good thing that this cyber ally thing exists, because anti-defamation is only part, and I've only seen this in person so far, but once we get it onto the internet, there's no stopping the ability to protect our friends. We do have to be wary that text messages, that private messages can be harmful, but they can be saved. So make sure you tell your kids, save those messages, bring them to important people, make people aware this is what's going on. You're not alone.